So let's talk Seahawks. Some bad news coming out of training camp. And look, I don't want to speculate on things, but DK Metcalf has got to get his anger under control. Now, maybe these fights that we've been hearing about aren't his fault. It's hard for me to believe that because we've seen DK do this before. We've seen DK lose his temper on the football field. We've seen it happen in multiple games last year. He actually probably cost us a game last year because of his temper. And now we're hearing fights breaking out at Seahawks training camp, and who's in the middle of it? DK Metcalf. Swinging his helmet at Trey Brown. Tensions running high, according to Seattle Times. Nothing personal, we're hearing. So that's good, I guess. It makes me question a couple things. It makes me question Mike McDonald a little bit. And it makes me question DK Metcalf. This is according to Stacey Rost of Seattle Sports. Most heated practice of Seattle Seahawks training camp came on Wednesday, the last fully padded practice before the preseason game. ESPN's Brady Henderson reported that at least 5 skirmishes took place. The NFL Network camera crew caught the interaction between Trey Brown and DK Metcalf. Seattle Times reported head coach Mike McDonald called the team together for a lecture. Seattle could be in line for a hefty fine if they break out during an upcoming joint practice against the Tennessee Titans. Artie Burns says fights are a regular thing. Fights are a way that guys just let guys know, hey, I'm here. However, I do think there's an element of it's a young head coach in Mike McDonald. And I think he's still learning. I think he's still getting the hang of how he's going to be a leader for these men. And we did hear about fights when Pete Carroll was coach. It's not like this is a brand new thing, but I feel like Pete Carroll did a pretty good job generally of keeping his guys cool, keeping his guys calm, collected, and just focused on the goal, which was winning. And I think Mike McDonald, obviously he wants to win. Obviously he wants to keep his guys ready to go, but there is an element of he's very young, he's inexperienced, he's 37, he does not have this leadership of being a head coach. And I don't know if it's like a respect issue, I sure hope it's not, but I really just think it's more of a, these guys are all just a little bit more, they're just a little bit more on edge, and they just feel a little bit more powerful in the sense that they can do what they want, and maybe they're not going to be victim to Mike McDonald in the same way that a Pete Carroll would hold them to that high standard. I don't know. Artie Burns says he thinks everyone on the sideline is in shock because the aggression they had, the swag they had was so good. That is a direct quote about Mike McDonald. So he thinks he's happy with what Mike McDonald has brought to the defense. That's good. I just hope that the leadership can stand up on its 2 feet. I don't doubt Mike McDonald as a defensive mastermind, as a defensive genius, but I want to see the leadership, and I want to see the growth in leadership, and I want to see the respect in the team. That's, I think, the biggest thing that we can look for this season with Seattle Seahawks football.